Hi, this is Haran from Consciousness Formula. Welcome to Lights of Life podcast series. Today we have Ihsan Tuncel, and he's all about wellness and fitness. So I'm going to just invite him to talk about himself. And Ihsan, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure thing, Haran. All right, I'll tell you a bit about what I do. I am a holistic health coach, I pretty much like to see more healthy humans on this planet, and that's one of my missions to I guess help as many people as I can reach their health potential.
Yeah.
And when I coach all of my clients or whoever, I look at it from a very holistic angle, and I think about building health from the ground up, because I think that's the only sustainable way to actually maintain health. You've got to tackle it from all areas and not just maybe say nutrition or just fitness alone.
That's true.
Yeah, so I really look at it from the pillars of health. So I really focus on the mindset, the lifestyle, the nutrition, and also the fitness.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason I actually decided to interview you as well, because some people just do the fitness, some people just do the nutrition, and also looking at your videos, I saw that you actually living the life. You practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So for me, I thought this is someone, because my podcast is all about empowering people to live their highest and true potential.
Awesome.
And I want to interview people who can actually guide people to live that life. So that's one of the reasons I actually wanted you to be on this podcast. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Haran. Yeah, I mean, to all the people out there, I don't really know Haran. We just crossed paths on Facebook, and now we're happy to be on his podcast.
Yeah. So tell me about your journey. How did you get into it?
Okay, so all right, I had two pivotal moments. One was when one day I was driving a car, and I was in my late 20s. I just thought to myself, why don't I always feel amazing? Why am I always having energy highs and energy lows? Why do I continually have certain symptoms like bronchitis and sore throat, tingling in my arms, tingling in my legs, lots of gut issues?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, why are we designed to be this average as human beings? And that just really made me think. That was kind of my first, I guess, journey into thinking about how to become healthier, because it didn't make sense that we had to feel this average. And I saw so many people just going to doctors on a weekly basis, going to the pharmacy, people that are out of shape, unhealthy, unhappy even. I just thought this just doesn't make sense. That was my first moment. And the second moment was when my father passed away, and he had a lot of health conditions. And when he was in hospital, the doctors their intentions were amazing. They were doing whatever they could to keep him alive. But on his last few weeks, I realized that what they're doing is not really related to health. It's purely to keep him alive and purely to treat his symptoms. But what I realized was, while they were trying their best to help him, his condition was getting worse and worse and worse. So that really changed. When he passed away, it really changed my life. And I was actually a smoker back then. I was eating what I call the mainstream diet, which we're told to do. And I just thought to myself, I don't want to go out like my dad. I want to see how healthy I can get. And that's when my journey started to really become healthier. And now I can easily say that I'm probably 500% healthier than when I was like 15 years ago, whatever it was, 16 years ago.
That's good. That's good. And so because of all these events in your life, you started questioning and you wanted to create a healthy lifestyle for yourself. When did you decide to make that into a career?
Okay, cool. So, yeah, well, for a long period of my time, I guess I was switching from job to job because I never really found my purpose in life. So, obviously, when you don't have a purpose, you're going to be probably helping somebody else's purpose. So I was just going from job to job,
Yeah.
unfulfilled, unhappy, unsatisfied. And one day, after a while, at a certain job, I was working in a restaurant, getting paid minimum wage. Here I am in my 30s. I'm got no money. I'm poor.
Yeah.
I'm unhappy, and I just kind of had a moment where I thought to myself, and I let go of my ego, and I was guided by my intuition, by my inner wisdom. And as nerve-wracking and as scary as it was, I was guided by my inner wisdom, and it led me to a career in fitness. I stepped out of my comfort zone. I moved areas. I changed my whole life, and I really can't explain how it happened. But all I can say is that I trusted the process, and I think my inner wisdom just guided me the right way, and that led me to fitness, and then I evolved into a holistic health practitioner.
Good, good. So, in your opinion, what is health?
Health, okay. In my opinion, health is taking responsibility,
Yeah.
health, and owning it, and not leaving it in the hands of, say, the doctors or the government or other health practitioners. You need to take ownership of it because
Yeah.
nobody can look after you better than yourself. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Good, good. And I think I can relate to what you're saying. Like, I'm 40 now, and
Yeah.
in my early 20s, I struggled so much. I think a lot of those things were actually triggered by my emotional state because I was so depressed and all that. I was suicidal and things like that as well. So
Wow. Yeah.
at that stage, my health was really, going downhill. And there was a point in my life I asked myself the same question, whether if I wanted to really live like that, because
Yeah.
the doctor was jokingly asking me, I see you more often than these old people who coming here. That
Okay.
kind of like a slap on my face. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I also asked myself if I really wanted to really continue living like that.
Yeah.
And when I started taking responsibility for my own health and well-being, a lot of things started changing in my life. I think at the moment I only have hay fever. Even that, compared to what it was before, now
Yeah.
it's much less than what it was before.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, isn't it amazing how the body can heal itself given the right environment?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, my approach, my thought process to that is, if the body can create an illness or a disease, it can also reverse it.
Yeah.
But you've got to give it a different environment because if you keep doing the same thing, obviously you're going to keep getting the same results. So I guess for both of us, we changed our environment, we changed the stimulus, and our whole life, our life changed in the process.
That's right. Yeah.
Well done, brother. That's good.
Yeah, Dr. Bruce Lipton actually talks about that,
Yeah,
where
he's amazing.
he's a cellular biologist, and he talked about how our environment, our genes don't have to control us.
Yeah,
Like if your father had cancer or mother had whatever, then it doesn't mean that we have to have them. We can change that by our thought and our environment. That's very true. We can change it. But however, still a lot of people get caught up in that belief that it doesn't really empower them or it doesn't change their life. But then they get caught up in that kind of belief. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, what do you think about that?
Oh, look, 100% I agree with that, Haran. I think, look, I guess one of the biggest challenges anybody has is bringing change into their life. Change is not easy. Change is very hard, and because we get confused. I think when we try to do something different, it can make you feel uncomfortable. It can make you feel scared. It can make you feel nervous because you're stepping out of that comfort zone.
That's right.
Well, a lot of people are scared of that feeling because they're going into a new area or uncharted territory, and we think, oh, it makes you feel nervous and anxious. So we automatically resort back to our pattern of behaviour, which has been bringing us the same result. And a lot of people, unfortunately, never change because they're scared of that process of bringing change into their life. And yeah, as you said, Bruce Lipton, he's definitely one of my what I'd say my mentors. You've read Biology of Belief?
Yes, yeah. I read it a few times actually.
Great book.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, definitely. But yeah, as you were saying, I think most people are what I call it. They're in a disempowered state. So we're living in a victim-based society.
Yeah.
And without being like, I'm not being judgmental or mean, but in this society, I feel victims get rewarded. Like you don't see healthy people being rewarded with gifts or lollies, etc., etc. But unfortunately, I mean, and the intentions are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but when people are sick, they become unhealthy. We reward them. Like the government gives you cards to get free transport.
Yeah.
You go to the airport, you get wheelchaired. Kids, unfortunately, they get sick. After that, they get their tonsils removed. They're given lollies, which I think just doesn't make sense. But my point is, it's a victim-based society, and I think the system, it's a great system. We're all safe. We're all got food and shelter, which is great. But I think the system disempowers us, and it does not promote empowered people to take responsibility for their lives. Because I think if this happens, the whole system will change.
Yeah.
Crumble, especially the health system.
Yeah, some people feel that they have the right to suffer, like they want to really suffer. And in life coaching, as I'm my life coach, we look into that as well, where we call it secondary gain, where some people have particular type of illness or something going on for them, or some people might feel depressed. This is not to disrespect anyone who are experiencing depression or anything else in their life, but just saying this is also one of the reasons where people because when they are sick or when they feel depressed, they get attention from their loved ones, and that's one of the way they feel loved. So subconsciously they actually tend to create that disease because they want to have that connection with people. And exactly like what you said, like if you are sick, then you get looked after at the airport or at the doctor's place or wherever. So people unconsciously look for that. So they want to hold on to their problem, so they get these attention from people.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the secondary gain. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, my mum, I'm extremely healthy, but for instance, my mum isn't. When she's at the airport, the wheelchair comes out, and I mean, it's cute, but I'd rather see my mum being able to walk. She's at 70, she's overweight.
Yeah.
God bless her, she's amazing. But I mean, as you know, family make the worst clients. I don't know if you'll agree, but so it's really hard to
that's true.
Get your family to follow you in your footsteps. But look, the main thing is with me, I need to be a living example of health first before I talk to other people.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those coaches that read books and just repeats it like a parrot. I want to be a healthy person.
Yeah.
And then I feel I have the right to coach and guide people.
Yeah.
I think if you don't practice what you preach, then I don't think, that's my opinion, is you probably shouldn't be preaching.
That's right.
Yeah, I think you should be a living example of health before you even consider coaching people with health.
Yeah, that's true. And so we talked about what is health. And what is not health?
What is not health? What is not health is well, that's a tricky one, actually. I would say the opposite of health is I'd say disrespecting yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you disrespect yourself, you're going to put bad things into your mouth, food,
Yeah.
your gut like a garbage bin. You're going to live an unhealthy lifestyle, a dysfunctional lifestyle. You're going to maybe do things to please others. So, in my opinion, disrespecting yourself is poor health.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Not having that integrity to
Yeah,
yourself, to your body, and not respecting your body. And
yeah, and that was me, Haran. That was me in my 20s. I used
yeah.
to smoke. I would sleep late, and I would do things to please others. I was always the yes man.
Yeah.
Say yes to everyone. So the more times you say yes, the more times you're going to let people down. So even though my intentions were good, I wasn't honouring myself, and I wasn't. But as I said, I was never taught to learn this stuff, Haran. The
Yeah.
school system doesn't teach you how to master your mind.
That's right.
The system doesn't teach you how to look after your health.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a prime minister, I would, from primary school, I would keep the kids active. I would get them to garden, play outdoors. I would teach them how to grow organic vegetables and fruit. I would teach them how to cook.
Yeah.
I would teach them how to look after their health.
Yeah.
And I'd probably give their lessons outdoors under the sun.
Yeah.
And so instead of giving them one, because I've got a son in high school, I think he gets 1 or 2 PE classes a week. I mean, that's a joke. Yeah. Because we got obese kids everywhere, unhealthy, deteriorating posture. I mean, when you know what to look for, it's quite frightening what's happening out there. And these kids are going to be our future of this country. So if I was an intelligent leader, I would focus on trying to build youth that are so healthy that they're going to be able to represent this country in the future with strength and power. Because now we're getting, teenagers and people in their 20s starting to develop diseases, and this is only going to get worse.
That's right. Yeah.
I think the government needs to wake up, because what's going to happen if half your population is sick? Who's going to work?
Yeah.
Who's going to look after this country? You know what I mean?
That's right.
And so I think there's a lot at stake here.
Yeah. I think a lot of kids are actually nowadays, just sitting with their phones or different gadgets, and then they're just playing games. They don't even get outside, and
Yeah.
they don't run around like what we used to do when we were kids. And
Definitely.
already obese, and a lot of kids have type 2 diabetes, and
Yeah.
it's really, it really saddens me sometimes when I look at it. It really, they don't have to go through that, but this is what they're doing. And also, like, parents, not to blame the parents, but at the same time, a lot of parents, I see that they, if the kids are not behaving, they just give them mobile phones or something, and then they just sit down with the mobile phone and playing games rather than doing something else.
Yeah.
Be active and all that. And
Yeah.
even food as well. If some kids are saying they're hungry, straight away they drive into McDonald's or somewhere else rather than thinking about putting some healthy food into their stomach.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you have kids, it's a huge responsibility, and it is hard in this day and age, even for parents. But I think if your own health is optimal, you're going to have a lot more energy, a lot more vitality you're going to have a lot more endurance to be able to put in the effort for your kids, because it's a lot of work. It's not easy. It's hard to be a good parent when your own health is deteriorating.
True.
That's why health is the foundation for everything for myself. Look, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a wellness entrepreneur, so I need a lot of energy and vitality to be able to run the show. And when you become unhealthy, your mission, your purpose can get disrupted early. I mean, we're all going to die, it's inescapable, but I mean, I haven't been to a doctor since 2006, and I attribute that to the way I live, the lifestyle choices I make.
Yeah.
And, but prior to 2006, I was going to see a doctor every month. I had so many issues.
Yeah.
On for 10 minutes about the symptoms that I had, Haran, but I've reversed them all. And the symptoms are purely a message. It's a message from your body.
Yes.
And telling you to listen. There's something going on here.
Yeah.
Don't shut me down with medication. I'm here to give you a message.
Yeah.
Work out what's going on. Get to the root cause and resolve it, because this message will eventually lead to something bigger in the future. Yeah. It's like the warning lights in your car. They start off with a light, and if you keep ignoring it, then another light comes on.
That's right.
And that leads to something, a mechanical issue in the car.
Yeah.
So it costs you more money in the long run than in the short term.
Yeah. And also it's going to, make your day, make your life miserable as well. If you can't walk properly, if you're going to be huffing and puffing and you can't even walk properly.
Yeah, sure.
What's the point? You are actually suffering. You are living a miserable life. And what's the point if you're going to live like that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Look, as you were saying, it's actually quite sad because, I mean, I was talking to a potential client the other day, and she's in a lot of pain, a lot of back pain.
Yeah.
What they're doing is, the surgeons, again, with good intentions, they keep fusing her spine, certain sections of her spine, because she's got bulging discs. She's in a lot of pain. But my point is that's when I look at it, the analogy of we turn our body into a car, where we take it to the panel beater.
Yeah.
They do things. They cut you up, they stitch you up, and they give you tablets, and they send you home. Yeah. I mean, it's good. It might get you out of pain, but once you get your spine fused, you're losing your mobility, so you're losing your independence.
Yeah.
I've had bulging discs when I was younger.
Yeah.
And if I listen to certain professionals, they were telling me that my future's looking grim.
That's right, yeah.
I'm into my 40s and I train like I'm 20 and I have no pain.
Yeah.
No pain. Yeah. So the body can heal pretty much anything, provided you don't leave it too late.
Yeah, I believe that too, because there's a lot of evidence coming out, even in neuroscience. You probably heard of Dr. Joe Dispenza and a few other people as well talking about how they healed themselves. And I personally healed my bulging disc as well. I had bulging disc, and then I healed it through doing certain therapies and things like that on myself. So,
yeah. Look, depression's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, I think the medication can be good short term for a lot of cases, for some cases, but I think, like for instance, when I was working in that restaurant when I was younger, I was probably depressed, but I personally, even back then, I never saw depression as a disease. That's just me saying I'm right or wrong, but I was just down, and that's because I was not living a life. I was not living a fulfilling life. I was thinking too small. I had no confidence, no belief. I had no self-worth. So my life was mirroring my thoughts.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I think we need to teach people that life begins up here. Your life.
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying, depression. I was talking about depression because I had clients coming to see me, and I spent like 7, 8, maximum 10 hours working with them. All their life, they were on medication for depression. After these sessions, they come out of it. They come out of depression. So I, as a neuro-linguistic programmer, as a trainer, we work in a different way, working with their, all the programmings and conditioning. We
Yep.
reprogram the way they think. We reprogram what really happened in the past, and we
Yep.
focus on the future. So
Yep.
it's a different way of looking at life and the problem altogether.
Yeah.
So like
Definitely.
I saw one of your posts that you talked about how nutrition can affect our mood. And so, can you talk a little bit about how the nutritions or what we eat can also influence how we
Sure.
feel?
Sure thing. Yeah. So what I teach my clients, Haran, is to connect with their body, because after every meal, your body's again providing you,
Yes,
excuse me, messages.
yes, yeah,
So I'll give you an example of myself. If I was to eat, say, uh, maybe pastry with feta cheese,
yeah,
and two of those, maybe three. A lot of people eat this stuff, and I'm going to feel. I'll give you a visual example of what I'd feel. I'd be like pretty much lifeless. I feel heavy,
yeah,
and that type of food can lead, for me personally, and a lot of people, can lead to anxiety, because when you're eating anything made from white flour, you're basically eating sugar. So and the cheese is so processed that, so what in that particular meal there is no nutrition. You go into what I call a nutrition deficit, because food, the body has to give away more nutrition to get that out than that food puts in. Does that make sense?
yeah,
So you're going into a nutrition deficit. Now, when you go into a nutrition deficit, what I found is it's very easy for your body to, because you're going to activate your sympathetic nervous system.
yeah,
And it's very easy to become anxious, nervous, because the body's in fight or flight mode.
yeah,
Because you have robbed your body of further nutrition.
yeah,
So when I eat those type of foods, I suffer from anxiety, and this happened for a long time.
yeah,
So there's feedback.
yeah,
Coffee, I get feedback. I get anxious. So we are all different. We are all biochemically unique.
yeah,
We all metabolize foods in a different way. That's why there is no one size fits all diet. Your body is always informing you of how that meal has worked for you.
yes,
As far as I'm concerned, the proof is in the report card. And what's the report card? The individual.
yeah,
If you look good, if you feel good, if you have unlimited energy when the sun is out, if you've got a positive mindset, uh, then that's like getting an A+ in your report card.
that's right.
Yeah, I don't care what you know. I don't care what degrees you have, or diplomas or PhDs. If you're not a living example of health, then you don't know what you're doing. So you got to.
Yes,
Does that kind of make sense?
yeah,
But yes.
definitely.
The body, what I teach my clients is to listen to their body. The body always gives you messages. So, for instance, if I just have 10 chicken wings, again, I'm going to feel very heavy. And I'm going to probably crave sugar because I've had too much protein from my body type. But if I was an Eskimo from northern Canada, the Inuits, they do best on a 90% fat protein diet. So when they eat that type of a diet, they're in amazing health. But if you give that 90% protein fat diet to someone from in the equator region, like Indonesia or something, they'll get sick.
Yeah,
So we've all inherited a genome code.
yeah,
But the key to your nutrition is to identify that genome code and eat according to your genetic makeup. Because, like for instance, you Haran, you've inherited the gut of one of your ancestors,
yes,
and your genome code is exactly the same as your ancestors from 100,000 years ago. It has not changed.
yeah,
We're in a different part of the world. We've got food distributed all over the world now. So, like for instance, certain foods that are in Australia don't originate from Australia. So, like for someone like me, my background's Turkish. I don't need to really eat bananas and if I eat too much fruits, I put on body fat.
okay,
The body's always telling you what's working and what's not.
yeah,
So if you don't connect with yourself, it's hard to. You're just going to follow all these diets, and a lot of people, unfortunately, go on calorie-controlled diets, which works if you don't know what you're doing. But when you find out how to eat and what to eat for your body type, you don't need to diet ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Eastern tradition, they say, you should be only eating food from your walking distance.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so the
Yeah,
environment wherever it's the place that you grow up, that is actually feeding your body to grow, and
yeah,
so you will be resonating more closely with the food that's actually growing closer to you when
yeah, definitely.
you grow up. So
Yeah,
they talk about that a lot. I'm working with the Aboriginal people as well in Melbourne here. Like when you work with them, you see the way they eat is different to how their ancestors used to eat.
yeah,
So their body is not really, most of them have diabetes or something like that, like some sort of disease. Um, so
yeah,
it is really connected to what you're saying exactly. Like
mm,
it is very important to listen to your body and
yeah.
see.
Yeah, like with the Aboriginals, I've done a lot of research on their native diets, and like the inland Aboriginals in Northern Australia, they were on a 75% carbohydrate diet.
Okay.
The 75% of their
Yeah.
food intake was carbohydrates,
Yeah.
25% was protein and fat. But the Aboriginals in the lower part of Australia, around the coast,
Yeah.
were on the opposite diet. They were on a 75% meat and fat diet and 25% carbohydrates. So my point is, see how the meal plan's different?
That's right. Yeah.
Both of those groups were lean, athletic, strong, intelligent,
Yeah.
healthy, even though the way they were eating was totally different.
Yeah.
But then they created this silly food pyramid,
Yeah.
and they put it and even today it's changing though. It's changing. I mean the food pyramid is pretty much obsolete now, but not many people follow it. But if you look at the supermarket,
Yeah.
mirrored around that food pyramid. So if you go to supermarkets from 20 years ago, a third of the supermarket was based on grains,
Yeah.
bread, pasta, cereals, noodles, this, that. But it is changing.
Yeah.
It's changing.
It's true. Um,
Interesting.
so, what kind of food? Like there's everybody's talking about what you should be eating, how long you have to give breaks, and all sorts of different things, and everybody's saying different things. It's so confusing.
Oh,
Uh,
it definitely is.
so, what would you say about all this?
Yeah. Okay. So as I said, I I metabolically I do metabolic type testing for my clients. So and that provides a starting point. And as I said, you've got to when you eat the right meal, you hit a certain zone, and that zone is what we call, where I studied, we call it the power zone.
Yeah.
You feel satiated. You don't feel full or stuffed. You feel satiated, and you get a steady release of energy at 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5 hours, and you have consistent energy, and you just feel great. You feel happy. You feel mentally focused. You can deal with stress. You have energy. Uh, Physically you feel great. So when you nail your meals, as I said, the body lets you know. But like, I'll give you a prime example, Haran. I remember a while ago I was doing a workshop, and lunch break I was starving because when you think we use that much, I guess glucose, etc. And I was looking for food. There was bad food everywhere, but I saw a Sublaki place, so I went there. I got the salad. It was a Greek salad. I got them to take out the feta, and I got lamb on the spit.
Yeah.
The moment I ate that, I actually felt happy, felt calm and relaxed. I felt amazing. So my body's telling me that that meal worked for me. And again, when I went back into the workshop, I had 4 to 5 hours more worth of energy, and I felt great. I'll give you another example when I did it wrong. one morning I woke up, this is a long time ago when I never really knew a lot of this stuff. I woke up with 5 hours sleep and I had 2 pieces of wholemeal toast with peanut butter and honey. I had some cornflakes.
Yeah.
And I had an apple. Now, within 45 minutes, I was anxious, nervous, I was agitated, I was jittery. I developed a headache.
Yeah.
I had no mental focus. I was very, very anxious, and I was craving something to pick me up again. So that creates a cycle where, all right, what's going to pick me up? A coffee. Then I had a coffee. Half hour after that, I felt even worse. I was starting to get sweats, so my blood sugar levels were crashing so bad that I became very, very jittery. And so see how 2 different meals affected me in a different way?
Yeah.
What's my body telling me? Which one works better?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just a little example of.
Yeah. I think a lot of people struggle to actually focus their body and also make that connection between the food and how they feel.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems where, people, people crave for food, and then when the food is there, they just, shove it in, and then they don't even think about the food, what they ate.
Yeah.
And they carry on with what they have to do. I think a lot of people do that. So how can you bring yourself to really look into all that and also pay attention to how you feel and connect with your body and listen?
Yeah.
How can you do that?
I think a journal is a great idea, or like a little diary.
Yeah.
I think you should write down what you're eating.
Yep.
And write down the symptoms. How do you feel? The responses of your body. How are you feeling? And track this every 30 minutes, every hour, quickly. And if you do that for about 2 weeks, month, then you're going to sit down on one Sunday when you got time, and you're going to look through that entire month.
Yeah.
And you're going to look at how your body responded, what you ate, how much energy you had after that meal.
Yeah.
Did you get sick during that period, et cetera, et cetera. And if you keep doing this for a good 12 months, and it's worth it, because when you start eating good, nourishing, organic foods, as I said, you're going to be living in a body that's going to be serving you so well that you realize you're not getting sick as often. Everybody gets sick. Happens, especially under times of stress. But you're going to be living in a healthy body, and that's going to make you confident and independent, because I have no fear of being alone, because I'm confident that I'm living in a body that is so healthy that it's going to look after me.
Yeah.
I'm not needy of anything, because and that's what health brings. It brings confidence and independence. So a journal is a great way to keep track of what's going on, and you'll be able to work out patterns and work out pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, because it's a puzzle. And as you were saying, there's so much misinformation out there, and there are so many experts. So we have more health experts and healthy people now. And so I think a journal is a great idea.
Yeah, and thanks for that tip. Actually, I think our body's the best expert out there, I guess. Like, it will tell you what is working for us and what is not working for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think writing a journal will be really good for us to monitor what we eat and how we feel and all that. It's a very good tip, Ihsan. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, as you were saying, Haran, the body never lies.
Yeah.
The ego can.
Yep.
But the body never ever lies. So whenever I meet a new potential client, I look at their body. I look at the way they're breathing.
Yep.
I look at their posture. And I've been doing this for a while, so I can pretty much work out how I can help this person. The body never ever lies. It's the barometer of your life, how you're living, how you're thinking.
Yeah.
Even our thoughts are mirrored in our posture, as you know this.
Yeah.
The body.
So are you saying you don't eat ice creams or any other junk food or anything like that?
Oh, look, Haran, let me say this. I suffered from look, I was when I was in my 20s, I was at a stage where I could not hold my toilet anymore.
Yeah.
I was driving on the freeway once, and everything just came out, and I just thought, I mean, obviously it's embarrassing, but I just thought, man, like, I just thought it was normal. I kept going to the doctors. They go, and they pretty much said I got IBS, and IBS just means we don't know what the hell's going on.
Uh,
So, look, there's a lot of factors involved. Obviously, I had a very poor gut health, and I had poor enzyme health. I could not digest certain foods. So I had to get these out. I mean, I do have ice cream, but I make my own. Like I make it out of maybe bananas and maybe some, I'll put some cacao powder in there and some almond meal. I put in a food processor with some honey, put into the freezer. I make my own ice cream.
okay.
Let me tell you this, Haran, the healthier you get, the less you can insult your body. Because when you're healthy,
Yeah.
nervous system is functioning at a very supreme level. The moment you insult it with nutrient deficient processed foods, that nervous system will give you such a strong response,
Yeah.
you cannot insult your body anymore. But when I walk past, again, no judgment here, when I walk past people that are sitting in front of muffin break, all these having their coffees and their muffins, these people, their nervous system is so numbed down so they don't feel the pain that they don't know any better. If you ask them how they feel, they'll tell you that they feel fine.
Yeah.
They don't know how average their health is because you just got to look at them. They have no life force, no energy. So, as I said, when you're healthy, it's very hard to insult your body with alcohol, with coffee,
That's right.
foods. So I can't do it anymore because my body gives me such a strong response. I feel sick.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. But I do have ice cream, but I have healthier alternatives.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Pretty much, yeah. It is pretty. People say I'm a bit hardcore, but I value my health. I saw my dad suffer for
Yeah.
a decade, and I'm going to do whatever I can to not die that way. I want to die in my sleep,
Yeah.
the natural way, how my ancestors used to die, and and I want to set a good example for the community and society. Yeah. Pretty much.
So, what keeps you actually going with what you're doing at the moment? What do you want to achieve?
Ooh, yeah. Look, what keeps me going is the more I learn, the more I want to keep going. So, the moment I stop evolving, I start to feel tired.
Yeah.
I start to have feelings of, let's just call it depression. I don't feel as good, and that happens. We all have periods in our life where we might stagnate, but yeah, what keeps me going is my health and my my evolution. I'm always learning. I'm always reading. I'm always studying. I'm always doing courses, and yeah, I want to help people. That's my biggest thing in life. I really want to. I want to see more healthy people because, as you said before, it's sad
Yeah.
seeing people just give up on their health and just surrender when you can just. We are designed to be so healthy,
Yeah.
but more people in society are expressing their genetic weaknesses as opposed to their genetic strengths. So, as I said, the environment, the stimulus that we provide to our body will determine which way we're going, health or disease. So, health and disease, they cannot coexist. You got to choose which team you're on.
That's
So,
right.
you have full health.
Yeah.
I don't see no middle line. So, I mean, the middle line is better than obviously the other way. But for me personally, I'm on the health side, and yeah.
Yeah. I think it's also if you want to, you have to believe 100% in what you do. Otherwise, you can't help others. Even if you believe in it 99%, if you have 1% there, you can't really help people who have problems, and especially with their health and what they eat, and then all those things that you do at the moment. If you don't believe in what you do, then you can't help them.
100%. Yeah, that's a very good point, Haran.
Yeah.
if you don't believe in what you do, the person across you will feel that.
Yeah.
They will feel your doubt. They will feel your insecurities. So imagine me being a health coach and I'm not healthy.
Exactly.
I'm not going to be able to run a successful business. People are going to trust me because I don't trust myself, because I'm unsure about health myself. So, yeah, so I don't get in with health, I don't get into these intellectual arguments.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Sorry, pardon the French, but
That's right.
I look at the report card.
Yeah.
If you're not a living example, I don't care how many books you've read and it's hanging on your wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, that's true. That's true. It has to be like that. Otherwise, you can't really, do what you really want to do. There's no. It shows that you don't have integrity if you don't really follow that for yourself. Then it really. I don't want to see someone who don't live that lifestyle and then they try to teach me something.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Very important.
It's like a smoker telling you not to smoke. Like my dad used to tell me, like my mum and dad would smoke, and they'd tell me when I was a teenager not to ever smoke. It's like that's just telling the unconscious mind to smoke.
Yeah.
As I said, but if they were leading by example,
Yeah.
then that's more inspiring than people telling you what to do.
Yeah.
As humans, I don't tell my clients what to do. I try to inspire them. I try to show them the possibilities of what's out there waiting for them.
Yeah.
And they've got to coach themselves.
Yeah.
That's just the way. But yeah, I am a hard ass when it comes to health.
Yeah. You can see that. Just like what I said before, based on what I saw with your, with what you do with your post and all the videos and all that. That's what I saw. That's why I wanted to interview you.
No, thank you, mate. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And so you mentioned that you actually run workshops and seminars and things like that as well. So tell me about that.
Okay, yeah, apart from running 2 coaching businesses, I've got I do wellness seminars and workshops. So I've got one coming up on June the 30th, and I've got another one in August.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much, I'll actually get you on one of my workshops. I'll get you on the one in August. Yeah, we'll talk about it after this.
All right.
Available. And I'm traveling. I'm going to parts of Melbourne where I think people need the help the most. So the suburbs where there's all the takeaways and the pharmacies, I'm going straight there because I want to show people that there's a better way.
Good.
Different way out there. And a lot of people tell me, why are you going out into these suburbs for? Because I want to help people.
Yeah.
Simple as that. That's my intention. And I'm getting the best speakers in the country to attend these seminars. And what I talk about is I take them through 6 powerful steps, which if they follow, their health will completely turn around very, very quickly. And I try to I'm not a nutritionist, so I don't give people meal plans.
Yeah.
As I said, I teach them to listen to their body, and I teach them what I call the foundation principles of health. So I've studied at the Czech Institute. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's in California in America, and we teach our clients the foundation principles of health, of thinking, breathing, moving, nutrition, hydration, and sleep. These are the foundation principles of health.
Okay.
With these 6 principles in your life, optimal health will not be reached. So, so I try to guide people to take responsibility for their health and go and get it. And when you get it, keep it, because your health will give you freedom, will give you independence, and it will give you wealth. Yeah. So when you're healthy, you can do anything. You can climb a mountain.
That's right.
And that's symbolic of being empowered, climbing a mountain. That makes sense, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you? How do they get in touch?
They can find me on Facebook, Ihsan Tuncel, and just contact me. I've got a webpage, ihsantuncel.com.au, and I'm always on Facebook. I'm very active like you, Haran, my main mission is, Haran, is to I want to see more healthy people. I think the government's. I mean, it's not up to the government. Let's be. I mean,
that's right.
I think a lot of people blame the government, or they look at the government to help them, but I don't think it's the government. The government can't look after themselves. I mean, our politicians are pretty hopeless. They're like kids. If you look at politics, it's like kids arguing in a playground.
Yeah.
Like, they're not mature at all. I don't see them as real adults.
And they have 4 years plan, and they fight between each others.
Yeah.
They don't think about people, and it's just all about winning votes. That's all.
That's it. Yeah, it's about winning the argument. And when was the last time you saw Australian politicians actually agree and have lunch together and say, "Oh, look, we're actually not that different after all"? I mean, what changes when the government changes for you, for instance? What's going to change if the government changes in your life?
Nothing really.
Nothing changes. So we vote with our money. It's the best way to vote. We vote with our dollars. So as I said, my mission is to empower people to really get healthy, because imagine this, Haran. Imagine if everybody in Australia reached optimal health.
Yeah.
This whole system will change.
That's right.
Treatment model of health, which they call it health. I don't call it health. I call it symptom treatment or disease treatment. It's not health, because just look at the foods they serve in hospitals. They've got nothing to do with health. And the whole system will change. And I'll be part of that movement. And thanks to people like yourself as well, we're spreading the word.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and things are changing. It's good to see.
Yeah, thanks for your time. And I'll be posting your video very soon. And also I'll be putting all your information about your website, how to get in touch with you, all your Facebook page and all other information when I'm posting this video. Is there anything else you would like to say?
No, just keep an eye out on. I've got my seminar coming up in June. It's in Coolaroo in the northern suburbs, and I've got another one coming up in August. And I'll speak to you about that. Haran, I'd like you to speak on that one.
All right.
On August the 15th, I think, in Moonee Ponds.
15th of August in Moonee Ponds.
Roughly, it's that date. I'm going to confirm it soon. And I've got a retreat coming up in the Otway Ranges.
Okay.
Where I've booked out a big house, a cabin, and I'm gonna host 10 people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do all the cooking. I'm gonna teach people how to cook.
All right.
I'm gonna teach them how to cultivate energy and health.
Nice.
And there's going to be minimal phone use. There's going to be minimal TV.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach people how to cultivate energy and life force through meditation, through Tai Chi, through getting into nature and eating nourishing organic whole foods. And I'll be posting that on social media too. And so I really want to empower people. So and I'm grateful for you having me on your podcast. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you.